the gas or air as the lubricant. And another advanced concept is the magnetic force. By using electromagnetic force, we are going to create the gap, or we are going to separate the bearing and shaft surface. So just when we are going to discuss the magnetic bearing, magnetic bearing is the type of bearing particularly for rotating shaft. Okay, so here we won't use this type of bearings for the linear movements application. Okay, so that uses electromagnetic forces to support the shaft with no mechanical contact. Okay, so what will happen in case of sliding contact bearing? Again, we have the hydrodynamic and hydrostatic bearing. So hydrostatic bearing, we are going to supply the lubricant with sufficient pressure to separate the bearing and journal surface. But in case of hydrodynamic bearing, so we are going to initially we will supply the lubricant. So when the shaft gets rotated due to the wedging effect and centrifugal force, so it will create the pressure, so to separate the surfaces. Again, you can come to the anti-friction bearing. Again, we are going to use the ball or roller component to separate the surfaces. But here we are going to use the electromagnetic force to support the shaft with no mechanical contact. There is no contact between the shaft surface and bearing surface. And magnetic bearing system supports a rotating shaft without any physical contact by suspending the rotor in the air with an electrically controlled or permanent magnetic force. Okay, here, so you can able to see the figure here. This is the rotor. Rotor means that is the shaft. Okay, so this is the surrounding part is the bearing. So here we are going to create the electromagnetic force to suspend the shaft in air. Means there is no mechanical contact with any component. The shaft is freely suspended in the air. Even the shaft is undergoing the load also, some load also. So it is a mechatronic product which involves different fields of engineering such as mechanical, electrical, control system, and computer science. So here you can able to see the schematic diagram. This is the rotor. This is the electromagnetic field introducing that wiring component we are going to use. Again, gap sensors we are going to use to sense the gap. Okay, so why that we will discuss in the later slides. Okay, so means gap sensor we are going to use to measure the gap. Okay, if in case the shaft or rotor will come near to the bearing surface, so the gap sensor will indicate that. So the space, again the control system will pass the signals. Again, it will create the more electromagnetic force to push back that rotor. Okay, to avoid the contact of the surface. Okay, that's only we are going to use the gap sensors, controllers, okay, power amplifiers, okay, which includes all mechanical component, electrical component, control system, and computer science engineering field. Okay, that's only we are going to magnetic bearings, also called as the mechatronic product. Okay, so now first we will discuss about few advantages of the magnetic bearings. Magnetic bearings are free of contact. It can be utilized in vacuum technique also. So clean and sterile rooms, transportation of aggressive media or pure media. It means so it is the free from the contact with the bearing surface or shaft surface, and also in case of if you are using the bearings in the vacuum application. So what will happen when the atmosphere is in the vacuum? So we can't able to produce the high pressure, right? Because already the surrounding pressure is less than 0 or less than 1. So means less than 0. It is in the vacuum condition. So it is very difficult to create the pressure inside the bearing in case of hydrodynamic or hydrostatic bearings. Okay, in that cases we can use the magnetic bearing. So by using the electromagnetic fields, it will separate the surfaces, and it can be used for aggressive media or pure media. aggressive media means some toxic to transportation of some toxic chemicals like some fluids like which are have the high toxic condition. And pure media we should not contaminate, because if you are used the hydrodynamic bearing or hydrostatic bearing for pure media, there is chances of leakage of the lubricant that will mix with the whatever you're transmitting the media. Okay, so in that applications we are going to use the magnetic bearings, and highest speeds are possible in the ultimate strength of the rotor. Okay, so in magnetic bearing we can achieve the high speed also, highest speed. And absence of lubrication seals allows the larger and stiffer rotor shaft. Okay, so because of there is no lubricant, so whatever we are going to use the seals in the bearing. Okay, so that is the in case of hydrodynamic or which are the lubricant bearings, there the seals act as the stop the leakage of lubricant, again supports the shaft. Okay, but here there is no lubrication, so the seals are support the shaft. Okay, and this so it will provide the stiffer and larger rotor shafts. Okay, absence of mechanical wear results in lower maintenance cost and longer life of the system, because of there is no initial contact, or in case of any high load condition, there is it won't come into the contact. Because if you are use the anti-friction bearing also, there will be some wear and tear takes place even when you are using the hydrostatic or hydrodynamic bearing. So in hydrodynamic bearing, it is the initially have the surface contact, and in case of low speed or in case of high load cases, it will the surfaces will come into the contact, so it causes the wear and tear of the both shaft surface and bearing surface. So in case of magnetic bearing, there is no chance of mechanical contact. So if there is no mechanical contact, means there is no wear. So it will give the lower maintenance cost of the bearing, and also the bearing will give the longer life. And adaptable stiffness can be used in vibration isolation, passing critical speed, robust to external disturbances. It means vibration isolation. For in case of anti-friction bearing or sliding contact bearing, due to some when in case of high speed application, high speed condition, so we know that there will be some eccentricity in the hydrodynamic or hydrostatic bearing because of the pressure. Okay, pressure difference throughout the surface, throughout the circumference of the shaft. Okay, due to that pressure difference and eccentricity between the shaft's axis and bearing axis, it causes the vibration. Okay, so in case of magnetic bearing, we can avoid the vibration. And passing critical speeds means we know that you're already aware about the critical speed of the shaft, right? In case even in your design laboratory also you have conducted the experiment. So what is the critical speed of the shaft? Means at particular speed, when it is reaches the frequency, and that critical speed reaches the natural frequency, it causes the breaking of the shaft. Okay, so in case of if you are using the magnetic bearing, so by creating the magnetic force, we can avoid or we can pass the critical speed also. And robust to external disturbance means if any external disturbance, either pressure difference or vibration and in other conditions, okay, so it can be run easily. Okay, these are the advantages of magnetic bearing. So applications of magnetic bearings are turbo molecular pump. I told you the pure media or pure substance to transfer the pure media. Okay, so that type of application, turbo molecular pump, blood pumps. Okay, here blood pumps also we are going to use the magnetic bearing because it won't contaminate the fluid whichever you are going to pump. contact-free linear guides, variable speed spindles, pipeline compressors, test rig for high-speed tires, uh, gear, chains, conveyors, etc., energy storage flywheels, high precision position stages, smart aero engines, turbo machines. These are the applications of main applications of magnetic bearings. Okay, means variable speed spindle means in some of the application we are going to use the different speed. Even some in case of CNC machines or say in case of aircraft application, we are going to use the shaft with different speeds. Okay, so here in case of if you are used any anti-friction bearing or sliding contact bearing, so we know that the pressure development in case of sliding contact bearing, that is depends on the speed. Okay, but in the especially hydrodynamic bearings, we can't use for the all the speeds because that we know that the pressure development inside the bearing is depends on the speed, viscosity of the lubricant, and what is the load you are applying. Okay, so for that we can't use the such type of bearing in different or variable speed applications. Okay, so but magnetic bearings, it is suitable for any speed. Okay, in pipeline compressor, that is also similar to the pure substance transportation. Test rig for high speed tires. In case of high speed tires, to test the vibration of the tires, because due to the eccentricity between the small eccentricity between the bearing surface and shaft surface. Okay, for example, in case of high speed tires, there will be even we are going to we will try to avoid the even 1 micron of eccentricity also, because it is the vehicle will run at the higher speeds, like race cars. There we should avoid the eccentricity between the shaft and bearing surface. There, to test that one, we are going to use the magnetic bearing. So thing is, we can't use the magnetic bearing in that wheels. So, but to test the whatever the eccentricity is there, to eliminate that eccentricity, we are going to use this magnetic bearing. Gears, chains, conveyors, even energy storage in flywheels. So that is also one of the important application. So in flywheel, whatever the energy will store, when they transmit that energy, when it is rotating, so the friction between the wheel and shaft, okay, that will causes the loss of energy. Okay, to avoid that loss, we can use the magnetic bearing. So, and high precision position stages means to provide the high precision position, we are going to use the magnetic bearing, smart aero engines, and turbo machines. These are the applications of magnetic bearings. So next is classification of magnetic bearings. We are going to classify the magnetic bearings according to the different parameter. One is the based on the control action. We are going to classify into 3 types: active magnetic bearing, passive magnetic bearing, and hybrid magnetic bearing. Okay, in active magnetic bearing, we are going to use the feedback system to obtain the gap between the shaft and bearing surface, like space space sensors or gap sensors we are going to use. Passive magnetic bearings. So here we are going to use the space sensors, but here it doesn't consist any control or feedback system. And hybrid, so combination of this active and passive bearings. So that is the hybrid magnetic bearing. Next classification according to the forcing action, repulsive and attractive. We know that generally we know the magnetic field, right? So North Pole, South Pole. Okay, if the north and north guards create the repulsive, north and south create the attractive. So we are going to use both the applications in case of electromagnetic bearing. So repulsive means it create the away force, and attractive bearing, it will create the attractive force. Okay, so like here in the repulsive, so we are going to create the magnetic force like both north and north or south and south pole. But in case of attractive bearings, so we will create the magnetic force like north will attract the south. Next one is the sensing action. So based on the sensing action, we are going to classify sensor sensing, self-sensing. Okay, sensor sensing means we are going to use the gap sensor or space sensors to measure the gap between the bearing and shaft surface. Self-sensing means due to the eccentricity only it will measure, it will uh, get the gap between the shaft and bearing. And also self-sensing means it will measure the gap, depends on the pressure also. Based on the load supported, so we know that axial or thrust magnetic bearing, which is used to support the axial load or thrust load. The load will act along the axis direction. So radial or journal magnetic bearing, these are we are going to use to support the radial loads. Conical magnetic bearing, these we are going to use to support both radial and axial bearing, or we are going to consider as that as the angular contact bearing. Then another classification is magnetic effect. So based on the magnetic effect, we are going to classify into electromagnetic and electrodynamic. So based on the application, precision floaters, linear motors, levitated rotors, bearingless motors, contactless gear trains. Based on that, we are going to classify the magnetic bearings. Okay. So here the radial magnetic bearing, the magnetic bearing which magnetic force produces radial support to the shaft, okay, into orthogonal axis. Axial magnetic bearing or thrust magnetic bearing, which is produce the magnetic force to support the axial load. Combination radial or and axial magnetic bearing or combo bearing or conical bearing. So magnetic bearing, in this case, magnetic force provide to support both axial and radial. So here, mainly when we are going to study the magnetic bearings, so we are going to study the bearings based on the control action. Okay, so in one the one bearing which contains all the classification. For example, if I consider active magnetic bearing, it may be repulsive or attractive. It may be sensor sensing or self sensing. It may be the axial for the axial load or thrust load, radial load, or it may be the electromagnetic or electrodynamic. So first we will start with the active magnetic bearing. So based on when you are classify this based on the sensing, so we are going to classify active magnetic bearing, passive magnetic bearing, electromagnetic biased magnetic bearing, permanent magnet biased magnetic bearing. Okay, these are the mainly four types of bearings, four types of magnetic bearings which are used in the industrial application. The first one is active magnetic bearing. Okay, here, so first a type of magnetic bearing which non-contact support of a shaft is achieved by using closed loop control system. I told you, so this is the closed loop control system. So you can able to see here, this is the rotor, this is the sensor, electromagnetic field. So electromagnets, which will provide the electromagnetic force. Okay, so which will supports the rotor. So sensor will sense the gap between the rotor and bearing surface. So again, same figure we have here also. So that will pass the signal to the controller. So control unit compare the what is the space required and what is the actual space here. So it will pass the signal to power amplifier. Same thing here you can able to see in this figure. See, this is the rotor, means this is the shaft. Okay. So we have the position sensor or space sensor or gap sensor. Okay, we are going to use the different words. Okay, it will sense the gap. This is the bearing. Okay, what we are going to see here, this is the bearing. It contains the wire. It contains the wire coil, which will support, which will create the electromagnetic field. Okay, that's only we are going to call as electromagnets. Okay, so when this space sensor or position sensor, it will sense the gap between the shaft or rotor to electromagnets. Means rotor is the shaft, electromagnet is the bearing. It will sense the space and it will pass to the position set point. Means here you are set the position of the shaft or gap between the shaft and bearing. So again it will pass to the control unit. It will compare the what your position you are set it previously and what is the actual position is there. So it will compare both the inputs and outputs. So it will pass the signal to power amplifier. See this power amplifier, you can able to see here two power amplifiers are there. It will pass to the power amplifier. If it is necessary to increase the electromagnetic force, it will increase, or it will necessary to decrease the electromagnetic force, it will decrease. Okay, both the case it will do the same function. Okay, so this is the actual working of the active magnetic bearing. Okay, so active magnetic bearing also we are going to use the term as AMB, works on electromagnetic suspension principles. Electromagnetic suspension is the magnetic leviation of an object achieved by constantly altering the strength of magnetic field produced by electromagnets using feedback loop. It means constantly altering strength. Means when it is rotating, we know that load is acting one direction. So here it will always, the shaft will try to move downwards because of the load. In which direction is load acting, the force is more on that direction. Okay, by altering the force, here we require less and here we require more force. But when we are going to create the force, we should alter the electromagnetic force. So by creating that, we are going to support the load. That is the we are going to call as suspension principle. The active magnetic bearing includes magnetic actuator, position sensor, magnetic bearing controller. Okay, with a control device, power amplifier, and power supply. This is the schematic diagram of the active magnetic bearing, and it is the actual active magnetic bearing, how it is there.
ಸರ್ ಅದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಅದು
ಇದು ಬರ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಬೇರಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಅದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಅದು
ಈಗ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಿಗೆ.
ನಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ಇರಬೇಕು ನೋಡಿ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್.
Actually, this is the schematic diagram and this is the actual active magnetic bearing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the system includes external power supply and auxiliary mechanical bearings to support the shaft. Okay. So here see, this is the actually practically what we are going to use the active magnetic bearing. This yellow color, green color shows the position sensors. These are the 4 electromagnets we are using here. This is the rotor, and the sensors are connected to the control unit. Then again the control from the controller, the signal will pass to the power amplifier. Same thing. Okay. Just working of the active magnetic bearing. So mainly it consists of 4 elements: stator, rotor, sensor, and electromagnet. Okay. Stator means supporting device, rotor, sensor, and electromagnets. These are the main 4 elements of the active magnetic bearing. So this active magnetic bearing we can use for both radial and thrust loads. First is power amplifier supply, equal bias current to the 2 pairs of electromagnets on opposite sides of rotor. See here, for initially it will supply the power from the power amplifier to the 2 pairs of electromagnets. Here, this will transmit the power, or it will supply the electricity to the 2 pairs. Here we have the 2 pairs, but it will supply the power in the opposite way. So you can see for this one and this one. Okay, it will transmit one type of electricity, and this one at one time. Okay, because to create the magnetic power. The controller offset required, bias current by equal but opposite of the current as the rotor deviates by small amount from the center position. See here. So because if in case it is applied as a load is acting in downward direction, the electromagnetic field creates in all the direction. But the thing is, if we are create maximum force here, because the load is acting also downward, there is chances of come to the close to the bearing surface here in this position. So then the position sensor will sense the position and it will supply the signals, so that again it will create the more magnetic field in bottom and side. Okay, depends on the deviation, so the power transmission takes place to the electromagnetics. The gap sensors are usually inductive in nature and continuously sensing the gap between rotor and bearings. The sensor measures the position of the body. The control electronics then calculate the right current to suspend the bar. Okay, so whatever the right current required to suspend the bar. Okay, so what the electromagnetic force, that is depends on the current, how much current you are going to supply. Okay, so once the sensor senses the gap, so it will pass to the controller unit, then it will pass to the power amplifier. These 2 units, okay, this controller and power amplifiers, this will regulate the current to create the magnetic field, so which is how much current is required to suspend the shaft freely. Is it clear? This is about the active magnetic field. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So actually the active magnetic bearing is the closed loop magnetic bearing, and passive magnetic bearing is the open loop magnetic bearing. Okay. So next class we will discuss about the passive magnetic bearing.
Yes, sir.
And